YouTubers! Mike Martin's here. Mike Martin's channel, bringing another very hard-hitting article from the Globe and Mail. BC reluctant to impose ban on foreign home buyers. So, people watching this from overseas and stuff, looking at that, that's just your average home that you would buy. Just a simple home, detached, just like, let's see the row of homes here. They call these luxury mansions. They're not luxury mansions. Everyone knows what a luxury mansion is. This is not a luxury mansion. I think a luxury mansion has a gate you drive up to and put in a code and then drive your car up by a water fountain and then leave it at the front. That's a luxury mansion. And it's got like 2 different pools, one for kids and one for adults. This is like $4 or $5 million, and that's just for that. But I'm not harping on the house. I'm not trashing the house. I'm just telling you what is going on. Here it is. Realtor signs Realtor signs are hung outside the newly sold property in a Vancouver neighborhood where houses regularly sell for $3-4 million. Sorry, it's not $2 million. $3-4 million for that. Wow. And so now, if you watch my Trends in the Housing Market every Wednesday live, I'm doing call-ins now, and I discussed this New Zealand. The New Zealand coalition government made a surprising announcement this week that they would ban non-residents from buying existing properties. That's just protecting the people. Meanwhile, in Vancouver, we got another round of numbers that attest to the yawning gap between incomes and housing costs. A new batch of 2016 census data showed that the median housing value to median total income ratio in Metro Vancouver is now at 11! The highest in the country. The ratio means that the typical Vancouver resident needs 11 times his or her income to purchase the typical home. The national average is far healthier, 4.9. The Victoria region is getting the spillover from Vancouver's market, which the ratio is 8.4, second highest in the country. Metro Vancouver's ratio is 8.3, and the spillover of the market, Hamilton's 5.6. So that's probably Hamilton, Ontario. Hamilton is at a 5.6. Analyst and Jan, a Justin Urban Studies professor of the Simon Fraser University, supplied the ratios. Vancouver is quite clearly the outliner, says Josh Gordon, assistant professor at Simon Fraser's University Public Policy, and who has written Vancouver's affordability crisis. He was not surprised by the new data. Vancouver area residents are desensitizing to such numbers by now. So people are just, they know it's that house is $4 million, but people just don't care. They just play it off like it's normal. We're all aware that our static incomes do not match up with the catastrophic home prices like several other gateway cities. The only explanation for our level of unaffordability is that money earned elsewhere is driving housing values. And it's building our economy, of course. In Vancouver's case, the wealth is largely earned in China, and considered that the estimated 58,000 homes are left empty across the region. 58,000 empty homes times 4 people per home. That's 200,000 people that are left homeless or left finding another place to live. We know that the speculative buying is at play and is fueling prices. There are those who continue to argue that a shortage of supply is the root of the problem. No, shortage of supply, 58,000 empty homes. How do you factor that? Someone teach me basic math, because I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. But the numbers don't back that argument, says Proof Guard. There is no evidence to support the idea the crisis has to do with slowdown in building, he says. The crisis is very clearly a product of a surge in demand. Sorry, guys, my camera keeps zooming in and out, so I'm trying to get it to stabilize here. So let's get down. Here's a long article, people. I'm not going to read this for 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Right here. Leah Farah, the United Nations specialist and reporter of adequate housing based in Ottawa, is planning a new visit to New Zealand to review the housing situation there. Ms. Farah's job is to go around the world and study the living conditions on the basis that housing is a human right. She doesn't think New Zealand's ban on foreign buying is a fit for Canada. Initially, you want to applaud the boldness and say, go for it. But when you start really looking at it, is it going to make a big enough difference? Is it a good policy? Do you want to have a protectionist policy of that nature? Well, every other country has it except the free market countries. So this keeps going on. Let's see what the final words are here. There is much more indirect way it's influencing our market, and there's no real data because it's very hard to track. Okay, people, let me get to what I want to say here. So in all fairness, let's get to what I want to say here. A lot of people are arguing that this is not a foreign purchasing problem. This is the Canadian proper taking out money at cheap rates. So it doesn't have nothing to do with foreign investors that come in and buy up our property. So imposing this law will have no, it would just basically mean nothing, because if a lot of people, the people that have that argument where it has nothing to do with foreign buyers, then go ahead and put the law in. Put the law that they can't buy, because then if it doesn't affect them, it's not going to affect them anyway. So they don't have to continue saying, no, you're blaming them, it's not them. Then this will give us a better outlook on what is really happening. And I think maybe implementing a law like this will give us it'll give us the truth, basically. The truth will surface. If it's the Canadian proper that's buying in and leveraging other properties to buy other properties, which is very, 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 could be very true. You know, there's could be a lot of people that are in over their heads with 8 different mortgages, leveraging different homes and putting down payments on condos. You don't know that. But putting in the foreign, no foreign investors allowed to buy protects the Canadian proper. The Canadian proper that pays taxes, that sends their kids to school. If someone got mad at me the other day, it's like, you're not Canadian proper, you want to retire in Portugal. I'm like, I'm allowed to retire to a nice sandy beach in the south of Portugal if I want to. When I retire, I'm here, I pay my taxes, I send my kids to school, I contribute to the community, I open a store in town, I'm here for people, you know, I contribute to society, and, you know, I should be allowed to retire to a sandy beach somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, so maybe, you see what I'm saying, this will surface. Then the 50,000 empty properties with people living in them? What the hell is that all, with no one living in them? Vacant properties? Come on, what's that about? So, something needs to be fixed. The second they impose no foreign buyers allowed, first thing is going to happen. The market will plateau, no one else will buy into the market. Because the Canadian proper needs to either get a 14 times raise, 14 times their income, to be able to buy into anything basic. Very basic. So, you saw that house in the image, $4 or $5 million bucks. So that's what I want to tell you guys. And then when people say, oh, I'm not Canadian proper because I want to retire in Portugal. No, people have a right to retire down in Daytona Beach. People have a right to retire if they pay their taxes, you know, buy their RSPs, support the community, and, you know, so I just wanted to address that. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about what's going on here. Because, would this help BC? Comment below in your comments. I want to know if this will help BC. Would it surface? I think this will surface more questions than answers if this law goes into place. But with proper analyzation and following the trends, we could pinpoint what all the problems are. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this. Comment below.